about the supine hamstring curl. And there's a lot of variations with this, but first and foremost, you're going to notice I'm doing it on a pretty small ball. But what's going to happen is, as the ball gets smaller and smaller and smaller, the movement is going to get harder and harder and harder. So if you're using a physio ball, an exercise ball, what you should probably do is start with the bigger ball if they're available and progress from there. So start with as big a ball as they have or as you need, and then progress lower and lower and lower until maybe you're using valve slides or your feet are actually pretty much on the floor. And that's just going to make it much more difficult and a much more advanced movement. So the bigger the ball, the easier it's going to be. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you the right form for it, and then I'll talk about it a little bit. So I'm going to show you 5 good repetitions, and then I'll talk about what makes it good and then how to address or notice bad movement and bad technique. So that was 5 good reps, and the first thing I want you to notice is how my hips were fully extended the entire time. When I put my feet on the ball, and I got into my starting position, my glutes were squeezed tight, my hips were fully extended, and they stayed that way throughout the entire movement. So if you watch again, paying attention now, I start with my feet out, hands out here. I'm going to drive my heels into the ball. And now what I'm doing is squeezing my butt and keeping my hips fully extended. I'm going to curl in, keeping the hips fully extended, butt squeezed tight. And as I come back out slow and controlled, I'm going to keep my hips fully extended. Because a lot of times what you'll see here is people let their hips drop down. No good. Keep the hips fully extended throughout the entire movement, okay? That's number 1. Number 2 is, a lot of times you'll see people who let the ball come out really fast. They have no control over the eccentric or the lowering portion. I want you to make sure that there's at least a 2 or a 3 count on the way down. So a 1, 2, 3, pause, then you curl back in. 1, 2, 3, pause, then you curl back in. If you're just letting the movement go out really fast and then come back in, then you're not going to get much benefit out of it. Make sure that the eccentric is controlled the entire time. So just to recap, squeezing the glutes the entire time, hips are fully extended, you're controlling the movement, you're not just going to let it drop, and you're going to get the most benefit when you really focus on maintaining this perfect form throughout the entire time. So that's the supine hamstring curl. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have any questions or comments, you can leave them below.